Hey guys, it's Tim again. We're doing another design tutorial, and this one's going to be all about how we're going to apply different sort of pixel sizes when we come to either posting social media posts or changing and updating a website header, and sort of the importance around that and getting it right, and the importance of why we want to do that. So what we're going to do is the URLs for these are always quite long, so instead of reading it out, we're going to go to Google, just a search bar, and type in up-to-date social media sizing HubSpot. It's going to be the first one up there. This is something that I would recommend definitely bookmarking for your later on purposes. This is the sort of thing that gets updated when it needs to be. So when you go to it, it'll always be that currently what the current restrictions or guidelines will be. Scrolling down, obviously there's quite a large amount of social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, to Twitter, to LinkedIn, and annoyingly, they all can have their own different sizes about imagery and stuff. So a bit of a background, when we're going and looking through our phone and you see kind of a large square that takes up a larger part of the screen on Instagram, that's generally a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's always going to be something around the area of 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels, or PX. The reason why you might do that Instagram, for instance, is also the thumbnails as well are all square, so it makes it nice and even. When people are reading it, it takes up a larger part of the screen. The benefit to that is that you've got a larger chance of capturing someone's attention with the limited time that they're going to scroll past the advertisement or what you're posting about. When we go to something like a Facebook or a LinkedIn header, generally think of it in terms of a high definition television, how it's a rectangular or horizontal. So something like this over here where my mouse is, that's generally going to be something generically along the lines of 1920 to 1080, but the actual sizing is different. But for a horizontal purpose, that's kind of what you want to be looking at. So Facebook's heading settings at the moment, for instance, when we go to this cover image, 820 by 312 px, whereas the profile image is 170 by 170 px. It's important to get these right as to have all your information within this sort of center frame of what the person is going to be looking at. And if you can avoid it, have all the really, really important details or the longer details in the copy underneath. This sort of makes them get the direct information that you want to get across straight away. And it means they've got something to read down and expand upon. Going down to Twitter as well, again, the header photo is very different. You have 1500 by 500 px. The profile picture 400 by 400 px. Instagram, as I was saying before, having the 1080 by 1080. When you get to stories, how I was talking about the horizontal being 1920 by 1080, when we're looking at a phone screen, if you were to flip it horizontal, that would be 1920 by 1080. But because we're on Instagram and we're going to be facing upright like that, it's going to be the other way. So you go 1080 by 1920. So the height of this part here is 1920, and the width is 1080. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. It's quite a fair bit. The importance of doing all this as well is when someone does come across either your brand or your company, and at first glance, if they have something that's either misaligned or this text they can't read because it's cut off by something, it can look unprofessional. And people say never read a book by its cover, but unfortunately it does tend to come across that way. When it comes to little things like that, it can make a massive impact in terms of how you appear in your presence online or virtually. And that can carry across with how you want to be seen in real life as well. If someone's had a really good experience in an interaction with you, promoting either your business or just by passing conversation, you want to follow that up by having an equally sort of impressive online presence as well. And this is one of the ways you can do that. So make sure you have a look through as well. Depending on what you're after using, all these different templates are going to be really helpful. And again, for the pixels and the PX, there are programs that can help you do that. This is assuming that you've got the tools to do that. Canva is a great resource as well. If you're not unsure about sizing and stuff, you can set the pixels, and they do have templates too. But this sort of thing is a really good thing to sort of go back to and make sure that you're sizing the imagery appropriately for what you're posting. For more tutorials, again, as we said last time, head to marketingentourage.online. We've got a ton more of resources there for you as well as on our own YouTube page. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one.